te yum ta ta tam kitta tak da te yum dhalang kutak tari kitta tak dam ide tam kitta tak de ida te tatte ida tak kitta dam ida de tam tak da kitta te ida te tatte kitta tak tari kitta tak dam ditta.
As Indians, we're blessed with a culture that celebrates so much through the arts. There's a song and dance for every celebration, every emotion, and every stage of life. We are so happy to welcome SRAVYA Shankara on our show Dance Forms. And today we will be talking about Bharatanatyam and so many other classical dances. And we'll be talking about the relevance of these dance forms in her life today and what she has learned and the lessons that she's gained from this. Welcome, SRAVYA, to Dance Forms. It's such a pleasure to have you on our show today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited for our talk today.
Before we actually jump into the deep end of our conversation, I'd like to ask, what is the one word that comes to your mind when I say dance?
So for me, dance brings immense joy. I have danced for my entire life, starting from dancing to songs in my living room to training under Guru SRAVYA Tirumalai for around 13 years now. Through that process, I've learned that dance comes in various forms. You have improv, you have choreographed dances, and there are various styles associated with that. And learning those has been one of the greatest privileges of my life. Starting with just being in dance class is the most enjoyable time for me. I enjoy performing and getting ready and performing on stage with all the lights in front of a great audience, but the best experiences come from dance class, just learning new pieces, learning new skills and honing those skills, perfecting them, and being able to grow as a dancer and continue my journey as a dance student.
I know it's so difficult to choose one, but what if you had to choose one, what is your favorite aspect of Bharatanatyam?
So for me, abhinaya or facial expressions was my favorite part, being able to depict various stories throughout time. Bharatanatyam started off depicting mythological stories of various gods and goddesses, and being able to portray those dignified and glorious stories from back then taught me a lot about just our history, but and also allowed me to portray those characters on stage, and being able to bring those to relevant times and depict the social state of our various countries is what I find to be wonderful. You don't find that in various other dance forms. The ancient classical dance forms of India are unique in the storytelling capabilities. For example, this year at my university with my friends, we came together to portray a story based on body empowerment and how, as dancers, there are various expectations and how we can overcome them by coming together. And that is what I find beautiful in dance.
It's amazing how you talked about how the relevance of Bharatanatyam is so wonderful to our times, especially because it's so age-old, it's so traditional and it's lasted over 1,000 years. And the best part is that we can derive so many lessons and so many stories out of such an age-old dance form. The Sangeet Natak Academy actually recognizes 7 national classical dance forms, and they all are so distinct and they all originate kind of from the different corners of India. What do you know about them, and can you take us kind of through the map of dance in India?
Yeah, so Bharatanatyam is prominent in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka and is said to have been revealed by Lord Brahma to sage Bharata. And then in Kerala there is Kathakali, which is originated and is known for its colorful masks and costumes. We have Mohiniyattam from the same region, which is known for its rhythmic and unbroken flow of movement. Next we have Kuchipudi, that originated from Andhra Pradesh, and it's known for its very theatrical and dance drama. Then we have from Manipuri, which is a combination of all the dance forms in that region. Then going up north, we have from Odisha, we have Odissi, which is a mobilization of the figures in ancient temples. Then we also have Kathak from North India, which is literally the dance of storytelling. So there are various forms, all diverse from each other, but at the heart of each one is the use of mudras or hand movements to depict various stories throughout time.
That's amazing how much you know, because I'm sure each one is so distinct and each is such a discipline, right? What is your favorite dance to watch? Because beyond India, there's so many other dance forms, but what are your personal favorites to watch and learn from?
So having learned Bharatanatyam for so many years, my eye has been attuned to that. So I love watching videos on end on YouTube just constantly. But then now, as I grow up, I'm, like I said, just a constant learner of dance, and
Yes.
I am grateful, eternally grateful, to have learned this ancient dance form, and that has given me the foundation, but it makes me a quick learner as well, and I want to become as versatile as I can as a dancer. So I enjoy watching Bollywood songs, learning those steps, and hip-hop is something that I'm enamored by. I wish I could move like how those dancers move. It's so difficult. That's something that I find very exciting to watch. And now in college, I've become more aware of Bhangra, and that's something that I find very, very enjoyable. It's something totally different from Bharatanatyam, and actually when I was starting to learn Bhangra, my captain would be like, don't be as stiff, kind of loosen up, move those shoulders, which is very difficult for me because in Bharatanatyam we know to keep those clean lines and just keep everything very stiff and proper in form. And so being able to loosen up and learn a new style of dance was something I found very exciting, and that is now a new journey that I'm on, being able to learn and gain those skills of other dance forms.
And I completely agree with the fact that, you know, the fact that you're actually exploring distinct and different styles of dance, whether it's Bhangra, whether it's hip-hop, whether it's Bollywood, whether it's a combination of all three. It's amazing. And going back to how you talked about you using dance as a powerful tool for expression, right? And using that as a message for empowerment. Tell us a little bit more about how you find dance, or whether you find dance an empowering tool for self-discovery today.
So dance gave me such strong female role models growing up, right? Being able to portray Goddess Durga, you had Lakshmi or Saraswati, and learning of their stories originally, and then being able to portray them, embody those emotions and the journeys that they had gone on, just gave such strong role models that we can embody and learn those small fundamental values from, and be able to bring that to our own life. So just learning dance in general, I think, is such a great opportunity to learn more about yourself, become more confident. Dance was what made me more confident, being able to speak like this or go on stage in front of hundreds of people and be able to physically portray something is not a small feat, and it took me a long time to gain that confidence in myself to be able to do that, and that's what dance does. And then also just the fundamental values of having dedication, determination, patience, being a keen learner, observer. I think those are all great things you can learn from dance, and that's what dance has given me. And I can bring that to any aspect of life, be it studying in a classroom or going to an interview, working in an environment. You can take any of those lessons that you've gained from just the process of learning to the stories that you have learned from.
That's so true, because basically what I'm hearing is that dance can be just applied in every area of life, and it's really shaped you into the person that you are. After so many years, right? So what was your journey and your initiation into Bharatanatyam like? What started it? Who kept you going? And how does it resonate with you today?
My mother took me to class, and so as any child, I'd be like, no, I don't want to practice, I don't want to go to class, I don't want to do this. But then I learned this one piece, Mahadeva Shiva Shambho, which kind of changed my whole outlook on dance. Being able to portray the emotions, like I said before, I could portray Goddess Durga, but I could also portray Lord Shiva, and the various powerful energies that I got from that piece, learning it and performing it, that was the one moment where I became interested in dance. And then I took it upon myself, I'm going to practice, this is something I want to do. And at that time, the milestone was to reach doing my Arangetram and being able to perform that milestone. So I took it upon myself, and that's when I started to become interested in learning dance, actually. I was no longer being forced continuously. this was something I wanted to do, and I did it out of enjoyment, and that's what changed. And so now that enjoyment has carried on throughout my life. Like, all I do, I don't think I walk around, I more dance around my house
Right.
from wherever I go. Dance has just become a part of me, and that's something I'm eternally grateful for.
That's actually so powerful, because thinking about how you started off as such a young child, and of course you're still very young, but the growth that you see, I think that graph that you're able to kind of, just envision, it's very inspiring to so many people who are your age or younger or older, to actually pursue dance, whether or not they want to, professionally do it or just as a side hobby. But I know you mentioned that you love Abhinaya pieces the most. So what is your favorite mudra?
My favorite mudra is like the Alapadma, the flower, and embodying just the beautifulness like this, and holding it. And then
There's
you can add a
flowers right
beat
there.
too,
Yeah.
It's very nice.
One final request, rather. What is that one piece of advice that you would give to all the people who want to pursue dance or who are dancing from all the ages and all walks of life? What is that one thing that you want to say to them? Could you talk to our audience?
Yeah. I believe that to fully commit to an art form, you need to enjoy it. You're the only one who can bring about that passion and bring about that enjoyment as you portray it to others. But once you feel it within, that's all that you need, and those expressions will come on their own, and it's no longer a hard work to do. It's not something you have to do, it's something you want to do. And everybody has their own journey, everyone performs their own journey, and knowing that and just doing it wholeheartedly is all that you need.
One last question before I go. What is your wish list? What is your bucket list? You know how people have a bucket list for life? What is your bucket list for dance? What are things that you hope to do, or what are things that you dream of doing whenever nobody's watching? What's that one thing, or what are those several things that you want to do for dance in your life?
So that's a great question. One thing, definitely, I want to learn from all of the dance icons in the world.
Nice.
For me personally, right now, Rukmini Vijay Kumar is amazing. She's brought a contemporary feel to Bharatanatyam, and her form is just beautiful, and that's something I would love to take a workshop with her, be able to dance with her, and just get the opportunity to collaborate. And next, Bollywood has played a large part in my growing up and my enjoyment. I love watching movies, and I love learning like the hook steps to dances. And so I would love to be on a film set, even as a background dancer. Like, that's all I want, just to get that opportunity to like see how films are made and how, pieces come together, because that's something I've always been interested in, not just the output, but the whole process.
Just the work that goes into
exactly.
it. Yeah, totally.
And then I would like to perform in a competition. So like, I'm in university right now, and there are a lot of competing teams, and I just watch those videos on end, and I find it amazing how they put, like, to create a 10-minute set, the amount of creativity and hard work that goes into it. That's something I would like to do, and hopefully over my next 2 years I would get the chance to, because that's something I'd like to participate in. So 3 things mainly. There's a lot of other goals and aspirations I have, but one day we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wish you all the very best in whatever you plan to do. I'm sure you'll hit all of those milestones and beyond. And thank you so much for talking to us, for speaking with us about Bharatanatyam and so many other classical dance forms. I'm sure our viewers thoroughly will enjoy all the information that they're going to get, plus getting to know you as a dancer and a person in this world. So thank you so much again, and so good to be talking to you.
Thank you for having me. This was amazing.
Thank you.